Welcome to this week's episode of Pindrop Perspectives. Mark and Jen are diving into a different kind of project than you're used to hearing in this podcast series. I won't spoil anything, and instead, I'll turn it over to Mark to get us started.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a truly fascinating and perhaps a bit unsettling creation. An entire hip-hop album that offers a lyrical commentary on American society. And here's the twist, it was mostly created by AI.
Indeed. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore the album, titled American Revolution. We're drawing our insights from the producer's notes and the powerful lyrics themselves. We're going to unpack what artificial intelligence, guided by human intent, distills as the core issues of division within society.
Okay. Get ready for some surprising observations and insights, because this isn't just about music. It's a unique window into what AI can extract and articulate from the vast, complex ocean of human thought and expression. So the premise of an AI-generated album tackling societal division is truly bold. Who was the visionary behind such an undertaking, and what did they hope to achieve?
Well, the driving force was producer Eugene Mont of Pindrop Entertainment. His vision was incredibly clear: to create songs that directly commented on the palpable levels of division, experienced by the general population in America. He wanted a conceptual hip-hop album with a very pointed social mission.
That's a powerful objective.
Yeah.
But how much of this pointed social commentary actually came from the AI itself versus, human input?
Well, the majority of the tracks were, in fact, written by large language models, or LLMs.
Yeah.
Eugene Mont provided the foundational guidance and made adjustments to fine-tune the message, sure, but the raw lyrical content originated from the AI. He then used prompting to determine the beat and rhythm, and AI music models subsequently produced the actual vocal tracks and the full song arrangements. The entire 10-track album, from concept to completion, was produced in about a month.
A full 10-track album in a single month is wow. That's astonishingly fast. Does such rapid creation, though, even with AI, allow for the depth and nuance truly required for a meaningful societal critique? Or is there a risk it becomes more of a broad brushstroke?
Yeah, that's a crucial question. What's compelling here is that while the speed is certainly a factor of AI efficiency, the quality of the critique suggests a profound synthesizing capability. It's not just generating random words. As the source describes it, this is intended as a lyrical assault on the state of society. The AI, in this case, acted like an accelerant, right? Rapidly prototyping and articulating themes that resonate with vast amounts of human discourse it was trained on. It essentially provided a high-fidelity echo of widespread societal anxieties.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's really dive into the core of the album's message then. What stark pictures does it paint of society, and where does it begin its critique?
It jumps right in. The album immediately plunges into powerful themes of economic and space exploitation, particularly vivid in tracks like Blastoff. The lyrics paint a truly dystopian future where you hear lines like, trillion-dollar rockets lift, a profit shift apocalypse, and even bankers play Galactus, planet snatchers. It presents a chilling vision of future social stratification where basic resources are commodified, oxygen taxed, better buy a breath, pay for the rain, or die in debt.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's this stark imagery of societal escape for the privileged. Mars is just a metaphor. The richest drift and separate, leaving peasants pick the bones of old economies they wrecked. The mood is one of inevitable escalating separation.
It's clear the album targets economic disparity right from the start.
Yeah.
Does it offer different angles on this, maybe through other tracks? Thinking specifically of Alarms, which seems to zero in on wealth disparity in a very direct way.
You're right, yeah. Alarms echoes those sentiments, but focuses more on the immediate kind of ground-level experience of economic inequality. It speaks of big backs in glass towers, they looking down low, whispers in the halls, yeah, they already know. Contrasting that with the feeling that you're slaving for a wage, they're just counting the cost. The AI seems to articulate a deeply entrenched system where take from the weak, keep the rich in the flow, leading to that chilling realization that the game's rigged, but they tell us to play. It's less about the future, maybe, and more about the present reality for many.
That's a grim assessment.
Yeah.
What other pervasive controls or societal issues does the album highlight? Does it touch on surveillance or information control?
Absolutely. A pervasive sense of surveillance and information control weaves throughout several tracks. Kingdom Falls warns of an ominous eye in the sky, wires and walls, watch how the kingdom falls. The lyrics describe how cameras catch a body, but the footage somehow disappears, and how microphones in every room don't whisper, it's recorded. Yeah. It suggests that privacy's a fable, they just trade it for compliance, implying that new age chains ain't metal, they electric, they predictive. The mood it evokes is one of inescapable observation, right? Where freedom is traded for a sense of false security.
And speaking of control, how does the album address the manipulation of information in media? Headlines seems to delve into that.
Precisely. Headlines takes on the media landscape directly. The AI describes wires in the circuits, bias in the verdict, and how screens stitch visions in a sequence, seamless, dreams get twisted in the beast's agreements. It even goes so far as to claim that history's a script, every fact decision, and that actors play anchors, panic on repeat, spin it till the villain's grinning on the beat.
Wow, actors play anchors.
Yeah. It's a stark, almost cynical view of how information can be carefully controlled and curated, designed to rerun the fear till the tears feel normal.
It captures a sense of a manufactured reality, you know.
Definitely. And beyond the social and political, does the AI's commentary extend to our relationship with the planet? Is environmental destruction a theme here? Yes, very much so. Environmental destruction, driven by what the album portrays as insatiable greed, is a critical theme, especially prominent in The Dream. The lyrics accuse unseen forces of setting the world on fire with a match in their hand, pour gasoline on the land, turn the earth to sand. The AI, through its lyrical output, observes how powerful entities are cashing in on destruction, profits their only plan, with dire consequences like the rains turning toxic, rivers running dry, and burn-in fossil futures igniting all the seas. It's a very visceral depiction of humanity's impact, driven by profit.
That paints a profoundly bleak picture. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. While the album offers such a deep critique of society, it's not all doom and gloom, right? There's this powerful thread of resistance and resilience woven through it. How does the AI pivot to this message of hope or defiance?
That's where the album truly reveals its complexity, yeah? Rise Above stands out as a defiant anthem, directly confronting the oppressive forces it previously described. It portrays a situation where they're knocking at the door, don't you hear the sound, boots hit the ground, but the response is an unwavering call to solidarity. We'll stand, we'll fight, we won't go down, we'll rise above, we won't back down. The lyrics emphasize that these borders don't define our fight as people rise to challenge those breaking the throne.
Okay.
It's a stark contrast to the despair asserting collective power.
And then there's Pain, which takes a more introspective approach to resilience, speaking to reclaiming truth despite historical oppression. Can you tell us more about that one?
Pain is a powerful reflection on historical memory and truth. It acknowledges how roots torn, truth worn, history impaired, and books burned, pages turned, the lessons ensnared. But the core message is that we learn through the cinders, no wisdom impaired. And the defiant hook asserts, truth been concealed, the story unfolds, built from the pain, fire in my soul. They bend in the past, but we taking control. Taking control.
Exactly. It's a call to remember, to learn from past injustices, and to actively shape the narrative of the future, rather than just passively accept it.
It sounds like the album also delves into how various societal issues can become cycles of control, almost self-perpetuating. Cycle Begins seems to hint at this.
It does, yeah. Cycle Begins touches on these complex, interwoven ideas, with lyrics that use terms like mask off, past laws, pathogen and backhauls, and vax war, lab logs, missing all the facts torn. It describes how panic gets weaponized, press in a frenzy, and warns that freedom's a symptom they rush to contain, and that infected elections inject in the game. The lyrics suggest that powerful forces muzzle the voices, they double the doses, numbers are fudged while the public's unfocused, pointing to a cyclical nature where ain't no immunity, cycle begins. It's a narrative of recurring patterns, where societal anxieties are exploited and amplified.
And finally, Echoes takes a much more introspective turn. It suggests a feeling of being almost lost in the system. Echoes is quite poignant, I think. It speaks to a collective sense of disorientation, a feeling of being lost in the rhythm but we don't know the name, and describes us as all just echoes caught in the hush. It's a reflection on our place within these complex, often opaque systems, acknowledging that we walk through the code but the code's not our own, and that the future's a question but the answer's a lie. It leaves you with a sense of quiet contemplation about individual agency within overwhelming structures.
What's truly striking, though, when you consider all these critiques, is the album's opening track, Star-Spangled. It directly uses those iconic lines, "Oh, Zay, can you see? Oh, Zay, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave." Placing these traditional, almost sacred lyrics at the album's outset before launching into such deep societal critiques, it creates this incredible juxtaposition. What do you think that does for the listener?
Oh, it's an incredibly powerful artistic choice. By starting with Star Spangled, the album immediately grounds itself in a foundational American ideal, right? One of freedom and bravery. But then, as the subsequent tracks unfold with their stark critiques of economic exploitation, surveillance, media manipulation, environmental degradation, that initial sense of freedom is utterly subverted. It forces you, the listener, to actively question those very concepts, freedom and bravery, in the face of the divisions and oppressions the AI then meticulously outlines. It sets a tone of critical inquiry from the very first beat. It's quite clever, really.
So what does this all mean, then? We've heard an AI articulate a profoundly critical view of society, almost a full-fledged philosophical statement in some ways. Is this merely a reflection of the vast data it was trained on, or is there something more profound about a machine producing such incisive commentary?
Well, what's truly fascinating isn't just that the AI can mirror these anxieties, but how its dispassionate processing, unburdened by human emotion or individual bias, allows it to distill these themes with an almost brutal clarity. It strips away the noise, presenting the raw anxieties we, as a society, might be too close to fully comprehend or articulate ourselves. It's incredibly adept at identifying and reflecting patterns of human thought and emotion, acting like a highly sophisticated lens, focusing and amplifying signals that might otherwise be diffused across countless sources.
Right. That makes me think, when an AI, guided by human intent, creates art that critiques our society so incisively, what does that tell us about our own collective consciousness? It's almost as if the AI is holding up a mirror, showing us what we as a society are collectively saying, fearing, and perhaps even inadvertently hoping for, even when we can't articulate it ourselves. It's like a distilled version of the zeitgeist.
Exactly. It offers a unique perspective precisely because it lacks human consciousness. It doesn't feel the anger or the despair, but it can recognize the patterns of those emotions and their expression across millions of texts. This allows it to create a coherent, unsettling narrative that might escape human authors bogged down by their own subjective experiences. It forces us to ask, if a machine can see these connections, these patterns, what are we missing as humans experiencing them directly?
From the spacefaring elites in Blastoff to the echoes of resilience in Rise Above, this deep dive into American Revolution has been a powerful journey. It vividly shows us how a collaboration between human creativity and artificial intelligence can produce art that is both entertaining and deeply thought-provoking about the state of our world.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests that even non-human entities, through their ability to process vast amounts of human expression, can give us fresh, often challenging perspectives on our most fundamental societal challenges. It expands our understanding of what constitutes a voice in cultural commentary, doesn't it?
It really does. So what stands out to you after hearing how an AI interprets our society's divisions? What other surprising voices, whether from humans or increasingly from technology, might offer compelling new commentary on the human condition that we haven't yet considered?
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and join us next time for another deep dive.
We hope you enjoyed this week's deep dive into American Revolution. If you're interested in listening to the album, you can hear it in full on the Pindrop Entertainment YouTube channel. Next week, be prepared for an analysis of how the kingdom falls as Mark and Jen discuss a series of books known as Fallen Empire. Until then, as always, remember, keep your perspective open. Artificial intelligence was used to assist in generating audio content for this episode.